Hello everyone, welcome to ACE Online and welcome to daily current affairs session. These are the articles that we are going to cover today from collected from various sources. First one, Energy Charter Treaty. A small display was made at the top of international page in the Hindu. So this is related to the international relations from European Union. So we will see about that. National Clean Air Program, again from Hindu newspaper. This is part of environment. Okay, so it is an initiative of Indian government. We will see this was already asked in civil services mains in 2020, right? There was a question on this particular National Clean Air Program, right? Next, the Surat MP without election. So recently, the candidates who has nominated for MP contestant in the Lok Sabha Surat, most of them have taken back the nominations, and when the candidate remained from the Congress has also disqualified because of reasons. We will see that. And finally, even without the election, the candidate from BJP was declared as a MP of Surat, even without the election. We will see that in detail. Next, and very very important article, this one. So this is part of polity. This is part of polity. And next one is Right of Persons with Disability Act 2016. Many times been asked the provisions, many times it's been in different exams has been asked since 2017 when it came into the force. So this comes under the social issues, right? Next one, Million Miyawaki project. So this was from environment again. There was a question in 2022 UPSC civil service exam. So we will see the question at the end as well, right? And then Pulicat Lake. So this is part of Indian geography. Again there was a question many times and we will see the question as well. Finally, World Trade Organization agreement on safeguards. So again we will take up one more previous year civils question from this particular topic. These are all very very important topics. So we have a very good articles today. This is part of economy. And finally, some factual pointers and practice questions. So these are all the articles that we are going to discuss for today. I hope my voice is clear and the audio video is fine from my side, right? Yeah, very good evening everyone. Welcome to the session. Let's start without the delay. First article that we are going to take up is Energy Charter Treaty. Energy Charter Treaty. So the context is the small article that I was talking about in the Hindu is is about European Parliament has backed. So we all know that European Union is a congregation of 26 or 27 countries, right? It is not a individual countries, but there are certain agreements since many years that all together have single parliament, single headquarter in Brussels, right? Most of the initiatives are applicable to all the countries. Whatever the initiative taken by the European Union, all countries in European Union has same law, right? So here European Parliament has backed European Union. We have India has a parliament, right? Similarly, the European Union also has the parliament. This parliament has backed European Union's decision to withdraw from International Energy Treaty, that is Energy Charter Treaty. It is also called as Energy Charter Treaty. So we will see what actually this treaty is and we will come back to the context why European Union has come out of it, right? We will understand the issue also. Before that, let's understand what are these treaties and all, right? Energy Charter Treaty. So let's know about this treaty, then we will come to the point why European Union want to come out of this treaty, right? So it is an international treaty. Let me explain you with a small background. In 1990s or maybe the end of 19th century, right? So here the most important thing for humans is to generate electricity, right? So the climate issue was not very much evident in those years. So the main aim those days was to provide at least the energy. But now we are moving towards the clean energy like solar energy, wind energy, right, nuclear energy and all. But earlier to have the electricity for industry itself is a very important thing, right? So in those years in 1990s, European Union has come up with an agreement to provide the energy for all, right? It can be fossil fuel, it can be any energy. There was an agreement that every person in the European Union should get the the electricity. So that's why there was an agreement between European Union, that all governments along with the private what you call companies which are promoting or producing the energy, right. So there was an agreement so that the EU countries will support the companies to establish the industries and promote energy. So I hope you are following. Here under the agreement, European Union countries has supported, European Union countries has supported the companies to establish industries and generate electricity. So this was the background. They have promoted the generation of electricity. So in case of any disputes reported by these companies, there was an agreement, there was the rules and regulations clearly mentioned. If these companies are being affected by any initiatives of European Union countries will pay some money. So here there were many such cases. 114 investor suits were filed against this European Union, because recently European Union countries are promoting the clean energies. So the initiatives that European Union recently is taking, those initiatives are affecting the profits of the companies, because earlier to promote energy, but now it is aimed to promote only clean energy. So the coal based energy that companies have established, they were in lose, right, their profits has reduced. That's why these companies has filed a lot of cases in the courts in across European Union. It has led to $51.2 billion where these countries has paid to the companies, right. So here, because of the new initiatives that is European Union is being taken to promote the clean energy, that is having a negative impact on the companies, which they are losing the profits. So that's why this European Union countries want to back out of this agreement, which was binding on them to pay the compensatory losses, right. So this is the agreement about, right. It was signed in 1994 and came into the picture in 1998. In implementation it came into 1998, and as of now there are 56 signatories. Not only the European Union, beyond the European Union there are many more countries which has joined this agreement, right, to support the companies to generate energy. But now because of climate change, this is being affected on the companies, right. So this is an intergovernmental agreement between the countries, European Union countries and some other more countries with the companies to promote the energy, right. So this is the Energy Charter Treaty. Now as I said, the provisions aims to protect the foreign investors, right, whoever are coming from USA to European Union and investing in industries, especially of energy, specifically of energy, right, those companies are protected under the treaty. Similarly, no discrimination should happen with any of the companies. There are a lot of rules and regulations which are protecting the companies, right. Now as I said, the concern is that we have discussed, as the European Union is shifting to the clean energy, the companies are in losses and they have filed. So that's why the context why the European Union countries want to come out of this treaty, because they are paying lot of money to the companies as per the agreement because of the loss of profits, right. So this is about the agreement, who has signed which organization and when it was signed, what is the objective, right, and then why European Union is coming out of the treaty. Any doubts? As this is a issue based, this is not a factual based, this is an issue based. You need to understand what happens. Is this clear? Can someone respond? That's what I am telling many times, that you should not by heart everything. In exam you will forget. You understand the what is the issue and then remember the facts, and then you can by heart when it was launched, between which countries. So all those things you have to remember after understanding the issue. Right. So next one, the National Clean Air Program. National Clean Air Program. The context is taken from the article of the Hindu, that it has analyzed the performance of National Clean Air Program. Great. Thanks for the response from the students who have responded. So there was an article related to the National Clean Air Program, right. We have a lot of facts, of course this is issue also, and also we have fact, right. So Hindu has analyzed what is the performance of National Clean Air Program. We will also see what it has said, right. Before knowing what the Hindu has noted, the issues and all, let us understand what is National Clean Air Program. Before that, let me tell you about the particulate matter. PM, we call them as a PM 2.5 or PM 2.10, right. These are the two popular particulate matter. Particulate matter means a small microparticles in the air. We cannot even see with the naked eye this PM 2.5. Yes, PM 10 we can see sometimes, but PM 2.5, this is a microns. The size is much smaller, right. So particulate matter means those matter which is released from various sources. Very thin particles are there. You can also see if you go near to the industries, you will see it in a proper manner, right. So in January 2019, Ministry of Environment has devised a scheme called National Clean Air Program, right, and the main aim is to remove or reduce the concentration of PM 2.5 and PM 10 in the air, right. So this is the objective of the scheme. This was asked in UPSC Civil Service 2020 mains, a question was asked. So those people who are preparing for civil service might be aware about this. Of course, for prelims also, for objective exams also, we need to know those details, right. So this aim is to eliminate these things and have a clear air. That was the general objective, but there was a target from the government when to achieve this, when to eliminate this PM 2.5 and PM 10. So that was also an deadline was kept under the scheme, right. Objective we understood. Now let us see the deadline. When it was launched, it was aimed that 20 to 30%. Okay, let me explain with example here. In 2017, for example, in the whole 2017, we has a 10 tons of PM 2.5 and PM 10 together. It's just a imaginary one, it will be more than 1000 tons. So the 10 tons of PM 2.5 and PM 10 are released in 2017. So we have a data, Ministry of Environment has a data that this amount has emitted from various sources. Now the target is whatever at the rate 2017, we will remove 20 to 30% by 2024. That means out of 10 tons being released, 2 to 3 tons will be eliminated. So from 2024 onwards, we will emit only 7 to 8 particulate matter. So that means we have removed, when compared to the 2017, we have to remove 20 to 30% by 2024. So that was the objective, but later it was revised to 40% by 2026. That means in 2017 we had 10 tons, out of that by 2026 we will eliminate 40%. That means only 6 tons we will release of PM 2.5 and PM 10 in 2026. So that was the deadline kept by the government. You have to remember this two initial deadline and then now extended deadline. So very, very important to be understood, right. Now what is the plan about? How we will implement? We have seen the target and the deadline, but how we will implement it, that is also important. So here cities which are violating about the annual PM levels, there was a deadline for all the companies, all the cities. If the cities are not able to reach, those have to put forward the plan how they are going to remove the PM 2.5 and PM 10. So there are 131 cities which was identified the Ministry of Environment which are not following it. So you can see here, no need to worry, just remember that there are 131. These were also called as non-attainment cities, non-attainment cities, right. That means they were not able to attain the desired targets. These 131 cities, they have submitted the report that we are going to take action in this regard. This is our plan. So they have to submit it to the ministry, right. And for this specifically supporting these cities which are not able to handle the PM 2.5 and PM 10, 10,422 crores were released by Ministry of Environment specifically for all those cities together to reduce the PM 2.5 and PM 10, right. So that is the plan to be implemented. Now what has happened after that? It was very successful in terms of presenting the plans. Most of the cities, almost all the cities have presented a proper plan, but the Hindu has reported that the implementation was not at all proactive. Though they have submitted in a proper manner, but they did not implement it, right? That is what happening in the most cases of India. We have thoughts, but we were not able to implement them practically, right? The same thing has happened in case of the National Clean Air Program also. There were proofs also, they have given the proofs also, that on an average only 60% of allocated funds for each of the cities were spent. Rest of the, according to the ministry, were used. So rest of 40% funds were kept aside. So they did not use the funds itself, whatever the Ministry of Environment has given. So this is a bare proof for us, and 27% cities spending less than 30% of their designated budgets. So for example, if 100 crores is given for each city and less than 30%, that means they even did not spend the 30 crore in achieving this PMT 2.5 and PM10 elimination. So less than 30% of funds were spent by 27% of the cities. So this is a failure, we can say, right? And Visakhapatnam and Bengaluru, it has quoted two important cities in the southern India, that they have spent 0% and 1% of National Clean Air Program funds. That means they did not implement itself, just it was on paper, right? So this is the failure in the implementation. Now why they were not able to implement it? The reasons are also have mentioned. The delays in the approval, so there was a lot of delay in the approval where to implement and who has to sign. So there was lack of lethargy among the government officials. As I said, bureaucratic red tapeism. Red tapeism means delaying the implementation, because the person who want to sign is scared that if something happens wrong, they may question it. So let's study this for a number of days, and the implementation process has been delayed, right? And lack of standard operating procedure means there is no proper rules and regulations, there is no standard methodology everyone has to follow, every city has to follow. It was just given but without any standard procedure. So these are all the reasons why we were not able to implement this project or scheme, right? And for better implementation, we need to remove the bureaucratic red tapeism, that is, we should frame the standard operating procedure, and then everyone has to give the assent, and the use of funds also should be happen parallelly, right? So this is about the National Clean Air Program. Any doubts in this? This is a little bit factual, of course, and analytical in the later part. So you need to remember when it was implemented, what is the objective. See, even I wrote in 2020 mains, I can recollect what has happened. As I did not exactly know it is related to the particulate matter, so I wrote about the carbon dioxide, methane and all. So we need to know the specific what the objective of the particular scheme is. It is exclusive to PM 2.5 and PM 10, right? So on the targets you need to remember. Also you can remember how many cities are there, how much funds the government has given, and rest of the things are analytical in nature, especially for those who are writing the civil services mains, preparing for civil services. So that is about the scheme. Next one, the Surat MP without election. Surat MP without election, right? Yeah. So the context is BJP's candidate from Surat Lok Sabha seat was declared as a winner without the contest of elections, right? There is no election because the one person who remained, that Congress party man, was disqualified. We will see why it was disqualified and all. Just the thing that no other contestant was there, only single person was there at the end, and he was declared as a winner. So there won't be any election in the Surat Lok Sabha seat. Let's see what has happened, right? Before seeing what has happened to that particular MP, why he was declared as winner, let's understand the nomination process, which is important to understand the actual issue, right? So nomination, according to the Representation of People Act 1951, we have discussed this many times. Anything related to the elections, conduct of elections and all were derived from Representation of People Act 1951. According to this act, anyone can contest in the elections, in the Lok Sabha elections, only that they have to cross 25 years of age and they should be the citizen of India, right? Anyone can contest with the age of 25, that was the derivation from the Representation of People Act, and every person who want to file the nomination has to give the form to the returning officer in that particular constituency. They have to file the nomination with the returning officer, and also they need to deposit some money. And how much? For Lok Sabha it is 25,000. This is also important fact. For Lok Sabha it is 25,000, and then for Assembly 10,000. And this is half for scheduled caste candidates and scheduled tribe candidates. So for Lok Sabha, and then this is for state assemblies. So they have to file nomination, along with that they need to deposit the money. So if they did not get the desired amount, 1/10 of the votes, deposit it is called. So if they did not get deposit, this money will be not given back to them. If they are getting this amount of 1/10 of the total votes polled, then they will get back this money back. If not, they won't get. So this is to encourage those serious candidates to file the nomination, not those, it is discouraging those who are just filing for namesake, right? So this has to given with the returning officer, they have to give it to the returning officer. And every person, after few years, Supreme Court has asked that every person has to file their assets and their criminal cases, all these things. So since 2014 or 2009, sorry, since 2009, the persons, all the people who are filing the nomination, they have to give detailed assets, how much they are owning, what is their loans, what is their debts, what is their total money, and then liabilities as well as education qualification, what is the educational qualification of the candidate, and then criminal cases against them. So along with nomination, they need to mention all these things, and also they need to deposit money according to the elections that they are contesting, right? And also along with that, they need to have a proposers. They need to be supported with certain proposers with the sign. So for example, I am contesting as an independent from particular Hyderabad Lok Sabha seat, for example. As I am an independent and I don't have any party, then I have to get proposals of 10 people. 10 people have to sign in my nomination that yes, we know this guy, we are supporting, right? And if it is a recognized party like Congress, BJP, or the recognized parties, so either in state or central. So we have a state parties also, number of parties. So those parties, they just need one proposer. They just need one proposer, but for independents and unrecognized, they need 10 proposers, right? They need to sign. If not, it is a nomination process is cancelled for those candidates, right? Now, there may be some issues because I am filing and most of the candidates are uneducated, isn't it? We are not in a situation where all the candidates are well educated. Most of them are illiterate and they don't know the process what to file. So that's why a person can give four nominations for the same seat. They can give 4 nominations. So at least one is accepted, then it is taken as an accepted nomination by the returning officer. So usually 4 are signed with a different person, signed all the rules and regulations, right? So this will be scrutinized by returning officers and then they will accept the nomination, right? This is the process of the nomination, what to do when you are contesting the elections. Now what has happened in the present case? Present case, the Congress person who was there are 8 independents, they have taken back the nominations, but there was a candidate from the Congress party. So he has, one of the person from BJP has contested that they don't get the proper signs, the proposals that they were doing, there is no proper signs, right? So, and then returning officer has asked the candidate to bring the proposers who are supporting him, right? And the proposers also said that we did not support, right? We did not sign, right? So that's why, as he could not able to get the signatures of the proposers, then his nomination was cancelled by the returning officers, and the only one person left, that is BJP candidate, and he was declared as a winner, right? And the Congress response was, we were trying to get the proposers, and then the candidate or the other candidate is giving some money or coercing that people, and they were not able to sign, right? So this is what happened. Now they may go to the High Court or Supreme Court, because that is the constitutional provision. Anything related to the election disputes has to be taken care by High Court, and after that it can go to Supreme Court as well. So we have to wait what will happen, but this has happened till now, right? Any doubts in this? Any doubts? Because this is also a little bit conceptual, you need to understand. So we have seen the process, the context we have seen, and then we have seen the nomination process, what are all one need to submit to contest in the elections, and what has happened in the present case. Any doubts? You can ask if you have any doubts. Even later times, if you get some doubt, you can put it in the comment section, right? So this is about this what has happened here. Now let's move to the next and very important article, Rights of Persons with Disability Act 2016, right? This is a act, right? And now why we have taken this now, it was passed way back in 2016, but let's see why we have taken this article. Supreme Court, this was taken from ET Economics Times. Supreme Court has expressed disappointment at inadequate implementation of Right of Persons with the Disability Act 2016, right? So this act was passed way back in 2016, but it was not properly implemented by the government. That's why there was a criticism. I mean, there is a pinpoint by the Supreme Court in this particular case, right? So we will see the provisions. We need to know what are all the provisions which are relevant for our exam, right? Let's see the act provisions which are important for our exam. It was enacted in the year 2016, but came into the implementation. See, any act has to be passed by Lok Sabha, right? And then Raj Sabha, and then President has to give the assent, and not till this. We have still one more, and the government has to put this in the Gazette notification or to the public notice that we are implementing this. So this is the process. Though it was passed by these things in 2016, but the notification of implementation came in 2017, and it was replaced the other act which was there, passed in 1995, Persons with Disability Act 1995. There was already an act, so this was replacing this old act, right? So this is the implementation part. Now what is the objective of this act which government has framed? It aims to ensure all the persons with disabilities can lead their lives without any, with dignity and without any discrimination, right? So see, this we are reading in a theoretical manner, and this have a very practical application. So visualize yourself in keeping in your position. I can recollect one event some years back, 5-6 years back, when I was traveling from my small village to the town. It is a government bus, right? So I was standing there because it was rush, and then one person who is physically disabled was coming to board the bus, and the driver who was driving this, no, you cannot get into this bus, so please, it is not even please, it was very harsh tone. So I can recollect this event when I was reading this article in the morning. So I can recollect there are a lot of discrimination to the people the persons who are suffering with disabilities. As we are in a good position, we were not able to understand the difficulties, but you have to visualize if by keeping yourself in that position. There are a lot of such discriminations happening in India. That's why Supreme Court has pinpointed that the implementation part was not again in a proper manner. Only the theoretical paper it was there, but implementation was not proper, right? So the objective of the scheme is to make their life dignified like any other person without any discrimination. This is the objective. The act also laid specific provisions upholding such rights. So specifically they have given a lot of provisions, and the provisions that we need to know for our exam. The total type of disabilities the act has mentioned increased from 7 to 21. Earlier in 1995 act there were only 7 disabilities mentioned in the act, but now it was 21. The act has enhanced those persons who will be covered. So you can see here the disabilities mentioned by the new act as well, right? So this is the provisions that has been increased. Now we will see the detailed provisions which the government supported, enabled to have for those persons who are facing the disability, right? First thing, the job reservations has increased from 3 to 4%. So if there are 100 seats in UPSC and 4% seat, the 4 seats are reserved for the persons with the disability. Earlier it was 3%, but now it has increased to 4%. This is important. Also in education, they have increased it, higher education, they have increased the seats from 3 to 5%. So if you are you have written a GATE exam and you are qualified for the having masters in MTech in NIT or IITs, so there 5% seats are reserved for the physical disabled people. Earlier it was 3%. So this is a provision enabled for those people. And also one important provision was enacted in the act, that any person or child between 6 to 18 years, any child who is disabled and whose age is between 6 to 18 years, they will have a right to free education. So any government sponsored, government supported or government schools, they cannot deny the admission, and it is a free of cost, right. So this is a very important provision which was enabled by the Act. Next, stress has been given, that is specifically mentioned, that public buildings wherever the railways or bus stands or government offices, they should have a facilities to support the physically disabled people, like wheelchairs or for sitting chairs, whatever. Those provisions has to be make mandated in all the offices. But do you think it has happened? No, it was not. Still there are lot of lackings. That's why Supreme Court has come up with that pinpoint thing that we have failed to implement this Act. Next, few more provisions are there. All the provisions of the Act are very, very important and many times been asked in the exam since 2016, right. So the Chief Commissioner of Persons with Disabilities as well as the State Commissioner will be the responsible to take care of the grievances. So even you yourself can file a petition that this person has been discriminated. I have seen by standing there. So I mean, you can complain. So those complaints will be taken and they will be punished, right. So this Chief Commissioner of Persons with Disability was also given such powers. Now a separate national and state fund was created to support these people in terms of education, in terms of their employment, whatever, to support them in case of any financial needs. There will be different schemes, of course. So these funds were created to support them. This is also other provision. The Act also provide guardianship by the district court. We need guardianship to sign of, in many cases, if you are taking loan or if you are taking admission in any college, so we need a guardianship. So here the district courts, the local district court will act as a guardianship. If not, then state government can specify who will act as a guardianship. So this is also the provision of the Act, right. Now there are also penalties. Whoever are violating the rules and regulations, and then the against discrimination of any persons, there is a penalties for them. So if it is discriminated for the first time, it can be 10,000 rupees fine or up to 6 months of imprisonment, right. So you should not discriminate any person by your votes or by your actions. It will be treated as an offence and you will be put in jail, right. And if you commit it for second time, if any person commit it for second time, then the jail term can be go to 2 years and the fine can go up to 5 lakhs, 50,000 to 5 lakhs based on the court admission, right. And then whoever have intentionally been, whether through words or sexually assaulting those children or persons who are disabled, those will be put in jail for up to 5 years, right. Special courts are designated to take care of these cases. So special courts were also designated that to take care of these cases related to the discrimination, right. And Supreme Court has quoted certain failures of the Act. No appointment of state commissioner. We have just seen that there should be a state commissioner to tackle these grievances. So many of the states did not even appointed the state commissioner to take the grievances. This is one failure. And then non-creation of state fund. We have seen nation fund as well as state fund to support their livelihood, but the funds were also not created. Similarly, no constitution of special courts. We have just seen that there should be special courts, but there are no special courts. And then not having accessibility boards in the public offices, all those things we have seen that they should have a facilities, but all these things are the failure of the state governments to implement this right of Act, right to protect the Disabilities Act of 2016. So that is about the Act provisions. Ranjan, see, Supreme Court can take suo motu. If for example I can file a case, you can file a case, and if Supreme Court judge, any of the judges, if they have seen in newspaper or news magazine, they can take suo motu also. It can be two way. Either you can file a case or Supreme Court itself can take it as a suo motu. Suo motu means it itself can see by after seeing some news magazine and all, they may take itself, right. So that is about the Persons with Disabilities Act. Any doubts in this? The provisions are very, very important to be remembered, right. So the issue we have seen the failure, but the provisions are the most important. How many are there, and then what are all the benefits that have been given. And it was also asked in, as I said, 2019 UPSC Civil Service Mains, it was asked about the evaluation of the act. So acts are very, very important to be remembered. I hope this is clear. Okay, let's move to the next act, Million Miyawaki project. Million Miyawaki project. The Embassy of Israel in India has partnered with the India to implement the Miyawaki, Million Miyawaki project. We will see what actually is a Miyawaki, don't worry, right. This project is a community led initiative. That means the people themselves who are benefiting will be involved to improve air quality in Indian cities. So they may ask you, what is the Million Miyawaki project objective that was recently launched by India with the support of Israel? The aim is to improve the air quality in Indian cities. So it is not rural areas, it is not agriculture related, but it is aim is to promote the air quality in the urban areas. That is the objective. Now what is this Miyawaki method? What is this Miyawaki method? It was named after Japanese botanist Akira Miyawaki, and this include planting of different category of trees in a per square meter, for every square meter. So for every square meter, right, so they have to plant 2 to 4 different plants. It is not, usually the plantations are done in a uniform manner, monolithic, right. So you will plant only one type palm tree, continuously in the whole area will be planting the palm tree. But in case of Miyawaki method, there are different trees combined, per every square meter, they have keep on changing the combination, right. So this is a mix up of different type of trees, and this was main aim is to increase the green cover with small parcel of land, and it was found to be very efficient because not a single plant was planted, it was 3-4 plants, and it was found to be a very effective method to conserve the soil as well as to promote the greenery, right. Now in this method, trees has become self-sufficient. That means each of the tree has acted as a symbiotic, that means they helped each other. That was found from this method, right. And the plants used in this were self-sustaining, they don't require too much of regular maintenance. That type of trees has to be selected, right. So this is about the Miyawaki method. Very simple article, what is the Miyawaki method, how it is done, what is the benefit, that will be sufficient. Next article, Pulicat Lake. Any doubt in Miyawaki method? Okay. So Pulicat Lake, Tamil Nadu government is planning to denotify a seizable area of Pulicat bird sanctuary. So we have a Pulicat Lake bird sanctuary there, small bird sanctuary, they are trying to denotify it, right. So that's why it was there in news. Let's denotify means taking away of the tag of the area. For example, this is all the area of Pulicat Lake bird sanctuary, and the certain area are denotified. So this is no more a bird sanctuary, so that can be used for the development or tourism and all, right. If it is a protected area, then the government cannot promote such type of commercial activities, right. Now let's see facts related to the Pulicat Lake. You can see here the blue color ones, Pulicat Lake, this is the area. This is distributed over Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu, and Tamil Nadu is having very less area, approximately 3% area is located in Tamil Nadu, and rest of the area is located in 97% is located in approximately in Andhra Pradesh, right. So this is located in the eastern coast near and drains into the Bay of Bengal. This is the Pulicat Lake. There are certain facts that you need to remember. This is the second largest brackish water lake. Brackish water means not a clean water, right. They are mix up of salt. After Chilika Lake in Odisha. Chilika Lake is the largest brackish water lake in the India, and the Pulicat Lake is the second largest lake, right, brackish lake in India. And Sriharikota Island, you all know, very popular, where the rockets are launched by ISRO. This island is located near the Pulicat Lake. So this island separate the Pulicat Lake from Bay of Bengal, right. So Sriharikota is here, the launching center, you can see here. This is acting as Pulicat Lake border between Pulicat Lake and Bay of Bengal. This is very important observation that you need to remember. So Sriharikota is located in the midst of Pulicat Lake and Bay of Bengal. This is very important. And the water that is drained here, the rivers are also very important. Which river drains into the lakes and all? So here Kalangi and Arani, there are two rivers which are feeding water into the Pulicat Lake. Very important. This you have to remember. Which rivers are draining the water into Pulicat Lake, that is Kalangi and Arani rivers. Next, this supports largest congregation of flamingos. So flamingo birds are most popular here. Near the Pulicat Lake, north of Pulicat Lake, we have a Nelapattu as well. In Nellore district of Andhra Pradesh, we have Nelapattu bird sanctuary, where every year flamingo festival is held. This also been asked many times in the exam. Flamingo festival in India has uniquely happening every year in Pulicat Lake, right? So that is also important. And Buckingham Canal is passes through this Pulicat Lake. This is also important. Buckingham Canal, which goes from Kakinada, northern Andhra Pradesh towards Tamil Nadu. This is also, we have a National Waterway 4. National Waterway 4 has also located near this Pulicat Lake. So this is all the facts to be remembered for the exam. Last article for today, World Trade Agreement on Safeguards. Any doubts till now? Okay, let's move. World Trade Agreement on Safeguards. This is also an issue based. Let's understand what is the issue and we will see what has happened, right? India and other member countries of World Trade Organization has criticized the European Union's initiative to extend the safeguard measures against steel products. Let me explain the issue here itself, then we will see what is safeguard mechanism, right? Okay, we will discuss the safeguard mechanism and then we will go to the issue, we will come back to the context, right? So safeguard mechanism is a provision under World Trade Organization established to protect, let me explain here. So this is an agreement, this is a country A and this is country B, right? And there are more than 170 countries under World Trade Organization, and under the organization we have an agreement called a safeguards agreement. So here, if country A feels that the country B is the imports from country B is threatening the economy of country A. So here the present scenario, the world is a free trade, the market based, so no country should keep restriction. That's what we agreed under the World Trade Organization. All the countries who have signed has agreed that we will not put any restrictions, it will be a free trade. Let us send our goods to those countries and let other countries' goods come into India. So there is no issue, it is a free trade. But there is an exemption. If country A feels that country B is sending lot of goods and that goods are threatening our domestic markets. For example, India's milk farm, let's say milk farmers who are rearing the milk. So if there is a import of Australia or New Zealand's milk and if that is threatening our farmers, so this country can put certain percentage of duty. For example, they were selling it for 100 rupees, now 25%, 30% can be deployed and it will increase 130. So when people who are importing from country B, right, they have to pay 130 rupees. So here Indian goods will become less cheaper. Say for example, Indian goods are 110 and these goods are 100 rupees. So people will buy, the companies in India will buy from country B because they are getting for 100 rupees only, right? But now what India will do, this company will do, it will deploy 25% of extra duties. So this 100 will become 130 and Indian companies will buy from Indian farmers itself for 110 because now it is 130, right? So this is the provision. It is a provision where if a country feels that it is threatened by the imports of certain thing into their domestic market, they can deploy the safeguard mechanism. So they can deploy certain duties on those goods. So this is the safeguard mechanism. I have explained you, right? This is signed under the World Trade Organization. Now the guiding principle, so if they are deploying it's fine, but they have to keep these things in mind. It should be temporary, it should not be permanent. Permanently they cannot deploy or levy the duties of 25%, whatever may be. So it should be a temporary. The agreement itself says that it should be a temporary. They may be imposed only if there is a threat to their domestic economy. Only if there is a threat, then only. They have to prove that there is a threat, right? That is one more condition given to the country, and it should be non-selective, means it should not selective for India, China. So specifically you cannot select any country, it should be all equally, all the countries cannot send their steel goods to this country. So it is a non-selective, everyone has to be clearly same, considered as the same punishment, right? And this should be progressively liberalized, so it has to be progressively liberalized. These are the conditions given to the country who is levying some excess tax on the goods. These are the conditions, right? Now what has happened in European Union? The Commission in 2018 have introduced the they have deployed safeguard mechanism, and they have levied 25% to 40% of duties on the imports of steel, right? Whatever, from whatever country, USA, India, whatever country, if you are sending goods or the steel products into our European Union, we will levy 25% of tax. So that has reduced the export from other countries, because the local companies will buy the steel from the European Union itself, right? This is what happened, and now context, as I said, they have extended for more years. So that is what happened, and India has criticized, India along with the other countries has criticized the initiative. Any doubts in this? What has happened? So briefly you can understand, there is a safeguard mechanism where any company can take measure by imposing lot of duties if it feel it is threatened by imports, right? That is what the intention is. So this is about the today's bigger articles. Now let us see the factual pointers in a brief manner, we do not have much, and then we will solve some MCQs. Any doubts? Any doubts you have? Please someone respond, if not we will go ahead, okay? Yeah, World Health Organization has released the second edition of Global Sodium Benchmarks. So they will ask you in exam, who releases global sodium benchmarks, right? So it is World Health Organization itself will be thank you Santosh for the response. Yeah, so the sodium benchmarks was released. This will be a guidelines for the countries that not more than 2000 milligrams per day of sodium should be consumed. So sodium gives non-communicable disease and all, so you should not consume more. This is the second benchmark released, and less than 2000 milligrams per day of sodium is allowed under the benchmark. Next one, our external minister Jaishankar ji has participated in Asian Future Forum, which was held in Hanoi, Vietnam. So they will ask you, where did Asian Future Forum has happened? So it has happened in Hanoi, Vietnam, and Asian countries are Association of Southeast Asian Nations. So Southeast Asian nations like Vietnam, Myanmar, Indonesia, Singapore, so all these are part of a group, 10-member group, and these countries, they themselves coordinate each other. So they have launched a new form, Asian Future Forum. This was mooted by Vietnam in 2023, and it was happened in 2024 in that country itself, which was proposed, and the objective is to promote development, that's all, right? To promote development. Last one, last fact, National Panchayat Raj Day we are celebrating on April 24th, that is yesterday, as we have passed 73rd and 74th constitutional amendment on this day way back in 1992, right? So that's why we celebrate April 24th as National Panchayat Raj Day. There is no theme given by the government, right? So that is all for today's discussion. Let's move ahead in practicing the questions, okay? First question, this was asked in UPSC 2022 Civil Services Prelims. The Miyawaki method is well known for, so for what it is known for, they are asking. Promotion of commercial farming in arid and semi-arid areas. First question. Development of gardens using genetically modified flora, that is trees. Creation of mini forests in urban areas. Harvesting wind energy on the coastal areas and on sea surfaces. So let us see one by one. It is not related to the farming. We have seen it is a tree cover increase, right? It is to increase the tree cover. That is the approach that we have seen. So not related to the agriculture, not related to the wind energy also. development of gardens using genetically modified crop. No, not related to any genetically modified crop. It is to promote the forest, the tree green cover in urban areas, right? So answer is C, right? Oindila, Sahana, Trida, Santosh, Srinath, Anjita, Ramya, Ranjan, Malini, Ranjan have answered. Malini, why is it B? So it is not B, right? It is not related to the modified, genetically modified crops. It is just to promote the green cover, right? So not related to genetically modified flora. Next question. With respect to Right of Persons with Disability Act 2016, which of the following statements are correct? Right? Let's read the statements. It increased the types of disabilities from 7 to 21. That is the first statement. It increased the reservation for people suffering from disabilities from 3% to 5% in government jobs. So that is the second provision. Every child with benchmark disability between the age of 6 to 18 shall have the right to free education. So options 1, 2, 3, 1, 3 only, 1, 2, 3. What is the answer? Yes, few people have answered it as a little bit delay. Nagarjuna Reddy, Santosh, yes, both of you correct. Let's see who will answer this question. So first statement is correct. So 7 to 21 they have increased. So B option is eliminated, right? And then every child, this also we have seen, 6 to 18 will have a free education. So this is also correct. 3 should be there. Now 1, 2, 3 and 1, 3. So here they have changed this. 3 to 4% increase was seen for government employment and 3 to 5% for education. So here they have reversed, they have given 3 to 5% for government jobs. So this is wrong statement. So answer is C, right? Only few have answered. Srinath, Trida, right? And then Santosh has answered it as correct. Madan, Nagarjuna and Malini. Yes, so 1 and 3 is the answer. Next question. Which of the following are features of Pulicat Lake? So which are all features of Pulicat Lake they are asking. Okay. It is the second largest brackish water lagoon in India. First, the lake is located in the border between Tamil Nadu and Andhra Pradesh. The barrier island of Sriharikota separates the lake from Bay of Bengal. So these are the 3 features they have given, and out of it, which are the features of Pulicat Lake they are asking. First one, it is the second largest brackish water lagoon. Yes, this is correct. 1 should be there. It is located between Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu. Yes, this is also correct. So 2 should be there. And the barrier island separates Sriharikota from the Bay of Bengal. Yes, this is okay. Sriharikota separates the lake from the Bay of Bengal. Yes, this is also correct. Very direct question. So answer is 1, 2, 3. Right. So everyone have answered this correct. I don't think so. No, wrong answer was there. Right. Very good. Next question. This was asked in UPSC 2010 Civil Services exam, preliminary exam. Yes, all of you are correct. In the context of affairs of which of the following is the phrase special safeguard mechanism mentioned in the news frequently? They have asked, right? United Nations Environment Program, World Trade Organization, Asian India Free Trade Agreement, G20 summits. We have seen this, it is not related to G20 summit, it is not related to this, and we have a very easy question, that is B, World Trade Organization. Yes, all of you are correct. Very good. Last question for today, let's see who will answer this. Which of the following statements about National Clean Air Program is incorrect? About National Clean Air Program, which one is incorrect? It has a target of reduction of particulate matter 40% of 2017 level by 2026. So this is the target. they are saying. First statement, the National Clean Air Program was launched in 2019. It is country's first such framework for air quality management with the time bound manner. So this is the third. It was launched by Ministry of Urban Affairs. So which one is incorrect, they are asking. First one, yes, it was extended to achieve 40% of 2017 level by 2026 and it was launched in 2019. So this is also correct. It is, we may be little bit dilemma here, it is country's first such framework for air quality management with time bound manner, but yes, we have seen this. This is not related Ministry of Urban Affairs, rather it is a Ministry of Environment and Forest, right. So the it is released in 2019 itself. So answer is D, Ministry of Environment, right. So that is of today's session. I hope it was helpful from my side. So yeah, please do revise when you are doing the news. It is not like you are watching the videos and you will forget after a few months. So try to revise them frequently. You have PDF also attached. So it will be really helpful. You can answer most of the questions from the current affairs, right. So that's all. Have a great evening. Thank you.